It says I'm live. I've not been taken by surprise for a change. I wasn't drinking my tea for a change. I've just made it. So I've just made it. So it's really hot. And I have a little snack bar ready as well. But yeah, I realized it's been a while since I did a live chat or any video really. I don't know if I do any videos in May at all. I don't know. I'm just going to bounce on over actually to my YouTube channel and see when was the last video that I did using the Mildred Payne as the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. I always call it the Mildred Payne, but that's not what it's called. It's the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle, because there's also Mildred Payne's Oracle of Black Enchantment, which I also have, which is so much fun. I've just realised I've not got my little spoffle, my little pop shield. Let's just see if that's, hopefully people can hear me okay. What's going on? Let's tighten that on there. Oh, I thought I'd gotten everything ready, but obviously wasn't as organised as I like to think I am. Well, I don't think I'm very organised at all these days. I used to be super duper organised, but I don't know what went wrong. Maybe I just got older and had less fucks to give. I don't know. But yes. So anyway, that was the last one, using the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle as a Lenormand, which is really fun for me anyway, because it's such a spooky deck. I do have a spooky Lenormand as well. I have the Spooktacular Lenormand, which is by the Wandering Oracle, the same people that put out the Marshmallow Marseille and the Tarot Sereine. So I'm just going to jump back over to let's just see. We've obviously got a twat in the thing. Hi, long hair, skinny eye toe. Lovely to see you. And Antoinette, Intuitive Tarot and Jewelry. Are you here? But hello. So yeah, my phone may ring. I may or may not be expecting a phone call. I'm waiting for someone to contact me for an appointment for something. But they never said whether they would email or text or send a letter or call, so who knows. And I've noticed it's the hospital. And different hospital trusts and different hospital departments communicate in different ways. So some hospitals and some departments will text you, some will email you, some will call you, some will call you and send a letter, some will just send a letter, which is very risky these days, because what if you don't get the letter? A few years ago, I got a letter saying, you're being discharged from this service for not attending your follow-up appointment. And I'm like, well, it would have been really nice to have known about the follow-up appointment, but seeing as you sent a letter and that letter did not arrive, now I have to go back to my GP and start the process all again because you relied on me receiving a letter. Maybe just call and check that I received the letter, or you do that thing you get where you get the text message and they say to confirm your appointment, text back, yes, or attend. So Rabanglands, hello, nice to see you. Not oh, as in you're here. I see what you mean. Okay, that makes more sense. But you know, typos and autocorrect and what have you. I've also taken some strong painkillers because I'm surfing the crimson wave, as Cher and Clueless like to put it. And it's day 2, and day 2 is always more brutal. So I've taken not the super duper mega strong painkillers, because those will just conk me out, but like the ones that make me feel a bit like Mr. Burns in the X-Files special episode with David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, where he's all like, I bring you love. That's me on these painkillers. Lisa Amber, hello. So there's a few of you here. So yeah, I was just sort of touching base. It's Monday. The sun is shining, surprisingly. May was just a washout, literally. It just did not stop raining, it felt like. And also we'd had some repairs done on the exterior of our house last September, October, and we had thought that had fixed a leaking problem, and then the rainpocalypse happened in May, and it turns out that no, the leaking problem has not fixed, and so it's been raining in our living room again, which is so much fun and not at all stressful. So you like my hair? Thank you. I washed it this morning, so it's sort of still drying. Antivirals and antibiotics here, day 5. My poor belly. Oh no, you're not well. I'm so sorry to hear that. Being unwell sucks balls. Yes, it does. Flies. I hate flies. The phone might go, and or the doorbell might go. I ordered myself some clothing from the interwebs, which I never do. Nearly every single thing I own is secondhand. I get them from charity shops and thrift stores. But because of COVID, I haven't been able to go shopping for clothing. And I worked out that now that it's getting hotter, I have 2 items that I can actually wear outside when I'm like walking nommy or whatever. I have 2 dresses, one long dress and one shorter dress, like knee length dress. They're the only 2 dresses I have for the hot weather to get me through the whole summer, because everything else is either too warm because it's sort of autumn winter clothing, or it's just too huge for me now, and I just cannot wear them. I can just about get away with these dungarees indoors when it's not too hot, but as soon as it goes over like 26, 27 degrees Celsius, even these are like too hot. Like I'm literally just wearing these with like a tank like crop top thing, just to help keep me cool. But yeah, it's just a whole thing. But yeah, I've not been around because basically stuff has been going on, just personally, health stuff mostly, health stuff with my grandmother, health stuff with myself. I had to have an MRI yesterday. That was an interesting experience, and I have some other appointments coming up. So we don't know what is going on with me, but honestly, it's kind of scary, and I'm struggling. I'm really struggling. Wood Thrush Cottage, Diane, lovely to see you. And Kat is here. Hello, Kat. Lovely to see you as well. So yeah, I had an MRI, a head and neck MRI. I think the last live chat I did, I was talking about my throat was hurting and stuff like that. And that's been an ongoing issue. But I have like unilateral, so one-sided on one tonsil is enlarged. And it's been like that for about 2.5 months now. And I have hard lumps in my neck, one on this side down here and one on here. So I went to see the head and neck specialist last Wednesday, and I was examined by a head and neck specialist surgeon, and I had to have like an endoscope down my nose into my throat and all that stuff, and then he was like, yeah, we need you to get them checked out, we need to get the tonsil checked out. So that was what the MRI was for. And then I've got not this Tuesday, not tomorrow, but the Tuesday afterwards, so the 15th, I've got a biopsy, an ultrasound guided biopsy, and I don't know if they'll take from both bumps, but yeah, so that's what's going on. Yeah, I was at the Macmillan Cancer Centre at UCLH on Wednesday, and I will have a follow-up appointment for my results at some point, and I'm just waiting to find out when that's going to be booked in. So yeah, it feels like my body is a traitor to me. I feel like I'm stuck in a body that just doesn't, I don't know. It may be nothing, it may be something, we don't know, but it's all very scary, and I feel like I just can't catch a break. And I am, and yeah, like going to the hospital, like having to travel on public transport in the middle of a pandemic when there's a new variant that is more transmissible and more severe and has vaccine escape, when I've had 1 dose, which leaves me about 30% protected against this new variant, is just adds like a whole extra layer of stress. Yeah, they do have to do that. But well, this is the thing. When I went to that appointment, I genuinely thought they would go, oh, do you know what? It's fine. It's nothing. It's just this, or it's like a whatever. And then I would go. I was a bit shaken because they were like, oh, yeah, we need you to go. We need this to get checked out. And the surgeon said it may not be anything, but we do need to check for lymphoma. which is a type of blood cancer. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. And then like I said, my grandmother's health hasn't been great, and she's got some hospital things coming up and some scans coming up next week. So that's obviously stressful for me as well, because I'm worried about my grandmother. She's no spring chicken. She's going to be 84 in about 2 weeks. So yeah, that's why I've not been around, and it's why you don't see me on my social justice rampage that I'm usually on if I'm like posting on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube making videos, because I don't have the bandwidth. Honestly, I can just about I've tried so hard to sit down and do some. Hi Sandra, lovely to see you, my love. I've tried so hard to sit down and read, and I've said I've been struggling with reading anyway, and like that hasn't worked. I tried to sit down and watch a film and I can't focus. I tried to like do some tarot study and I can't. All those problems I was having with focusing have like been amplified, and I feel like I'm back where I was at the beginning of the year when I was back and forth between the hospital for stuff, or like a year and a half ago where I was in and out of the breast cancer clinic. I just can't. So, and I was half and half as whether I was actually going to be straight up and say to everyone why I'm not really here about online, but when I had my first breast cancer scare at the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, I kept it all inside. There were a couple of friends who knew what was going on, and obviously family members who knew what was going on. But I didn't put anything out there. I just said, I've got health stuff going on, like if I was making a video or whatever. But I didn't sort of go into specifics. And then after all that was over, I made about a half an hour video where I just had to, it was just really cathartic. I had to make that to get it all out of my system, and I broke down, and it was just, I just needed to just talk out the whole process of what had gone on and how things had gone wrong, and and that was actually really important, because I actually had people contacting me saying they have been checking their breasts because of that video, or that they had found something and they weren't no longer going to ignore it because they realized that actually, yeah, they should just go and get it checked out. And to me, that was 100% worth making that video. Now, this may be nothing, it may be something else, but I don't know how much I can just sort of be like, oh, I've just got some stuff going on, and be like really vague booking, as they call it, or vague tweeting, vague YouTubing. And I also, it's like there's this whole thing about, this is so not anything to do with tarot, is it really? But like, there's this whole thing about women not saying that they're pregnant until they're sure that the pregnancy is viable, which I think is about between 12 to 14 weeks. I've got a friend who's currently pregnant, and it's taken her and her husband 3 years to get pregnant. They've got pregnant through IVF, but it's been a really long and painful journey for them. And she had waited until the usual time that they say it's okay to say that you're pregnant. But her and some other people that I know, and other like activists, were saying, maybe we need to normalize talking about being pregnant earlier. I'm not saying I'm pregnant, I'm just saying I'm using this as something that I've seen recently, because obviously a lot of women suffer miscarriages in silence because no one knows, and there's this whole hush thing around miscarriages or ectopic pregnancies and things like that. And I think that was the really good thing about Meghan Markle talking. I'm no royalist at all. Anyone that knows me thinks that the royal family can do one, but I have a bit more time for Harry and Meghan, just because they seem to be sort of there seems to be pushback against tradition and what's expected of them, and I admire that. I'd admire him more if he abdicated. Well, I say abdicate, but gave up his titles, but he's almost done that, I guess. But I think her talking about her miscarriages was really great for women generally to just open up that dialogue. And I felt like, if I go through this and it's nothing, I've been open about it. And if I go through this and I've been open, if I go through this and it is something, I mean, it's out there then. I don't know if I guess if it is something, I've let the cat out of the bag in the sense that people will be asking how I'm doing. So I've taken that option away from myself with regards to dealing with it on my own or whatever. But I don't know. I think a lot of people go through stuff like this all the time, and they're left to suffer in silence and wait until they find out what's going. I don't keep doing that. They wait to find out what's going on before they even say anything, and even then they might not necessarily say anything. And we need to just destigmatize. We need to destigmatize mental health stuff. We need to destigmatize stuff around whatever this might be, like, you know what I mean? I think people go, well, health stuff is private, and I think it is, but I have a little platform. It's not huge, but I have a little platform to help maybe talk about stuff and just be open with people with what's going on in my life. It doesn't mean I'm going to tell you everything about how I'm feeling, all the deep, like, I've been in a pretty bad way the last week. It didn't help that I was having PMS, so I was like super duper emotional and was like crying at and I was like, why do I keep crying at everything? And like, obviously I'm stressed out and upset, but I was just finding everything harder to cope with. And then I came on my period yesterday. I'm like, aha. Oh, Aunt Flo, you sneaky little cow. So let's just have a quick look in the chat. So sorry to hear you're struggling. Sending love. Thank you. And then part of me is like, stop being such a baby. Like, so many people have it worse. And my husband said to me yesterday, that's your mum talking, because my mum is very much like, oh, they're there, but I taught you to be stronger than this, so you're fine. So she sort of invalidates usually how I feel, and then I'm left thinking, and she'll look, there's always people worse off, and you're like, wow, okay. It's like there are, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that you can't feel your feels, right? 6:55 a.m. here in Ontario, Canada, getting ready for work. Hi, Kay. I think there's a lot to be said for normalizing both illness and process of seeking answers and treatments. As long as you have the ability to do it, it's very easy to feel. This is the thing. I felt very, very alone. Good morning, Claire. Lovely to see you. I have felt alone. Like, my husband knows. Obviously, my parents and my sister knows. I don't know if my mum's told my grandmother, because I don't want her to be worried, because she's already got her own health stuff going on. I assume she's done the right thing and not told her. I left that. I didn't really explicitly say for her to not say anything. And, some of my close friends know. I guess now anyone that watches this will know as well. But yeah, I think waiting to say something until after finding the answers kind of drove me a bit bananas when I sort of hung on to it and held it in, especially when I'm out here, like, trying to make videos and stuff. But it's also why I haven't, hi Robin, you're right, it's also why I haven't been making videos on my my art channel as well, because it's been very hard for me to be inspired, and it's been like several months now. And I was also wanting to get the video camera, the camcorder, the video camera, which I said I got Christmas and birthday money for that, and I was gonna put that money towards getting a proper camera, a proper grown-up camera. And I finally put that money in, deposited that, because it was actually cash. I finally, for the most part, a couple of people, my dad like transferred money to me, but everyone else sort of gave me cash or checks. I finally put that in last week, because I hadn't been wanting to go into the bank because of COVID. So that money's there now in my account, but now I'm like, oh, do I buy that camera, or do I wait until I get my results? Because if I get my results and it's horrible news, do I want a camera, or do I want to like blow that money on other stuff? Right? Who knows? So I'm holding off on the camera for now, it seems. Why is it you can know exactly when Aunt Flo is due, but she has to turn up for you to realize why you've been grumpy? Yeah, like, this is the thing. Like, I don't know when my period will turn up now, because I have the contraceptive implant, and it just left stuff all over the shop. It can be 21 days. It can be 60 days. I think I had one gap of like 70 days. It's just all over the shop. But that's no excuse, because even when I was on the mini pill, and I would take it for 21 days, and then you have 7 days where you don't take it. So, and I was like clockwork, because I was on the pill, and still I get caught out by why am I so emotional in the period when coming go, oh, and it's so funny. Like, it's not like I haven't been having periods for almost 30 years at this point. I think I started my period when I was about 12, and I'm 40 now. So 28 years of periods still catches me out, and I know I'm not alone. As Kat is clearly, so But yeah, I was been listening to a lot of podcasts. That's one thing I've been able to do. I've been sewing pouches. For some reason, I find I'm able to do that as long as I'm listening to like podcasts or like Critical Role, which is a Dungeons and Dragons game that I watch. That's the only thing I've been able to do to get me through this so far. So your girl's cut out and sewn up quite a few pouches. And I've got another 15 pouches. I just have to show you because the colors all together make me so happy. Hang on. This is just so satisfying. Isn't that yummy? I don't know, it just makes me so happy. So I've got these, oh, excuse me, I've got all these, oh shit, I've knocked my phone over, sorry. Yeah, I've got all of those to stitch up. And I've got the ones, I have a shop update today. I am not a very good businesswoman. Probably should have led with that. I have a shop update today, 5 p.m. UK time. So in just under 5 hours, it's 12:05 here almost. So in 4 hours and 55 minutes, I'm having a shop update over on my Etsy shop. Oh my goodness. Hang on, let's just have a look. Hello, Madame Kelly Bear. Glad to have you back. Missed you. Thought you were busy making pouches or a bit under the weather or both. Both, Paul, honestly. Thank you. 28 years, it sounds like this one's an exclamation. Yeah, and I ain't done yet, Robin. For me, it's not a blessing. I don't ever want children. It's been a curse. I have been advocating to get my tubes tied for a very long time, but, you know, even over here, they're like, oh, but you might change your mind. Oh my God, I will not fucking change my mind. I am 40. I have not changed my mind. So yeah, I am just like, for me, I don't want children, so it's useless to me. And secondly, it has caused me a lot of pain and a lot of illness. And I'm being invested, waiting for exploratory surgery to work out whether I have endometriosis, which would explain a lot around my periods and why they're so painful and problematic for me a lot of the time. So for me, they're a curse. For some people, they're a blessing. This is why I have real problems with this whole idea that like your womb is your center of power as a woman. Because firstly, it's very gender essentialist. And also it's not, okay? It's fucking not. My period pisses me off. Wow, you've been so busy. I have been busy. They look like popsicles, says Kay. Yeah, and then I've got the pouches that are going up today. I'm so happy with the little, I've shared them on my YouTube community panel feed and on my Instagrams. So I've got this one, which is for the Tarot Siren, because obviously there's a little starfish. The colour's not showing up quite true. It's much more of a minty green. And then this one for the Marshmallow Marseille with the little lollipop. And this isn't a baby blue. It's more of a periwinkle blue. It's so cute. So I'm really, really happy with those. And I just shared on my Instagram. Where are they? Let's have a look. I've got new charms to go with the Tarot Siren pouches. These are the ones that I want. I've ordered specifically for the Tarot Siren, and they're tiny little oyster shells. How cute are they? So I'm going to make a bunch of in different colors, obviously. But look, for the Tarot Siren. I'm obsessed. I'm going to order more of these lollipops and see if I can get, because they do them in different colors. This is a very pale pink. It's not really showing up on the screen for me, at least. But yeah, so I'm super excited about those. And I've got some more charms coming this week or next week, and I've had to order a bunch of ribbons. So I'm at a point where I can't really cut out any more pouches, because when I cut them out, what I do now. My process is I match up a bunch of fabrics, and then I put which ribbons, threads and charms I'm going to put with those, and I cut them out, and then I pin them together ready to be sewn in like a little everything goes in there. So there's the ribbon and the thread that I'll be using, the skein of thread, and then there's the charm. For this one, there's a little mushroom charm, and that all just gets thingied up in a little bundle, and then they're ready to rock and roll. I can just sew them. So I do them in batches now. I used to do them just all one at a time, but that I've worked out is very time. But when I was only doing a handful at a time, that was fine, and I was making them as and when in between my regular job. I don't have a regular job at the moment. Well, I have the option to do hair and makeup now, but I still don't feel safe doing it. And honestly, I don't know if I will ever be doing. Oh my god, now I'm dropping stuff everywhere. So yeah, but I've got to the point where I've still got fabric. I've got loads of fabric, but I'm running low on ribbon and some certain colors of threads. So I have to wait until those come in this week or next week, hopefully by the beginning of next week at the latest, before I can cut any more. But you know, I've got 15 here, so that should keep me busy. And then there was a fundraiser for Panda, Arcane Panda, and I donated for the silent auction. I donated to the fundraiser. Sorry, there was also a silent auction for her. And I donated a set of a pouch, a reading cloth, and a bookmark that all matched, which I was really happy with. So I think what I want to do is do some little sets. This is the thing, and maybe I want to take some what do you call it, like not recommendations from people, what do you call it, like the kind of, what is the kind of thing that you'd be interested to see? It doesn't mean I will do it. But like, yeah, I'm interested to know if there's anything in particular people are looking for with regards to, you know, pouches. I keep meaning to put together double pouches because I want, well, like my literary witches deck, it's a two-part deck really, isn't it? It's got the actual literary, the writers, and then the requests. That's the one, Sandra, thank you. And then there's the objects portion of the deck, and sometimes I use them together, sometimes I shuffle them together, sometimes I keep them separate, sometimes I use one but not the other. Like, it's a really fun deck, it's really versatile. But so I keep meaning to make a deck, a pouch that has, you know, it folds up like that. And I've been saying this, like, I wanted to do it with a couple of other decks that I have that are two-part. I've been saying this for like 3 years now, so I should probably, like I say, anyone that's watched my videos knows I get around to it eventually. Might take me a while, but I'll get around to it. Hey B, you right, my love? I guess I could also try and do sort of standard sized double pouches where you could carry two decks that are not related to each other, like two full-sized decks. So you could have, like, you know, you put your fountain tarot in one side for a modern deck, you know, if you're a reader, and your centennial. Oh, the colors go together nicely on those for your traditional, and they're in like one. That might be an idea, because in my head I was thinking of making them for specific decks. Like, I've got the Cosmos Tarot and Oracle from Light Grey Art Labs that was gifted to me by Simon because he didn't ever use it, and that's a tarot and an oracle, and I think that would be that was another one that I wanted to do it for. Hi Sam, my dear, glad you're well. B, who else? Let's just go scooch up, because I think I've missed some stuff. Oh goodness, there's quite a few people now. Yeah, PCOS, Sandra. I've got friends with PCOS, and it's just really, there's the ability for you to reproduce as a woman is always put before you as a person's actual health and wants and desires, which I think is just so messed up. What's your Insta tag? For my art, for my pouches, Antoinette Intuitive Tarot, it's Miss Honey Bear Art. That's there if you're still there. I'm astounded by how even your stitches are. That must be so zen. And yeah, it is. You know what? It's so funny. When I was younger, I absolutely abhorred hand stitching, I hated it so much. I found it boring. It was frustrating. I'm very impatient. I'm looking over at my sewing machine there. I've got my overlocker down on the floor there. And when you've got a sewing machine and an overlocker, like, you can really go hell for leather on those things, but there's certain things you can only be done by hands, hand stitching. And I don't know when it was, but it must have been sometime in the last, I don't know, 5-6 years, maybe 7 years, that I just really got into hand stitching and embroidering and enjoying that. And going through all this stuff I'm going through at the moment, and having the next, just worrying about the next stitch, and like I said, listening to podcasts has really, that's the one thing. And I think it's just because I'm trying to zone out, and it's really, really helped. So yeah. Let's just have another look. You still got to buy the Marshmallow Marseille. It's a great deck, although it has slightly been gazumped. It has slightly been overshadowed for me personally by its sister deck, the Tarot Serene, because it's more I don't know, it's even more fun. The Marshmallow Marseille is fun, but this one is even more fun, and I've shown this before. But I just love that it's mermaids. Sorry, I should have boobs. Warning, boobs. Mermaids. Like, even the lion in the strength is a merlion, and the colors in the Marshmallow Marseille are fairly similar, but they're even more edible. I think I've talked before about how colors have flavors for me. Like, this whole deck tastes like one of those Zap lollies you used to be able to, I don't know if you can still get them. I haven't had one for years because they're not vegan friendly, but if anyone that doesn't know, a Zap lolly was like this multicolored, it seemed to have mostly a yellow tone to it, but it was multicolored, and it tasted like caramel, like an ice cream lolly. And it just had all these colors here remind me of it. This deck tastes like a Zap lolly, and because it was something I would have in the summer as well, and this is very summery because it's mermaids and sea. And for me, being a Londoner, I think of the sea during the summer because that's when I would occasionally go to the seaside as a child, and we'd go and stay at my great aunt's caravan in Clacton-on-Sea. So I associate the sea with summer. But obviously, if you live somewhere else, you might be by the sea all the time. So for you, like if you live by Brighton, you wouldn't necessarily think of the sea as a summery thing because it's there regardless of the time of year. But I just love this. The hermit crab shell for the hermit, like, it's just joy. And now that summer is finally here, this deck is just perfect. Look at the eels and the little fishes. It has such a naivety and charm and quirkiness about it. Like, you can see that it's been hand drawn, and I find that really charming. It's just joy in a Marseille. I just love it. It makes me so happy to look at. Speaking of happy, that made me think of something else I was pondering this morning. I'll just try and remember. I'll write that down before I forget, because I go on my little side quests. Okay. Thank you, Kat, for popping that in there. Oh, my tummy's grumbling. Oh my god, did that pick up on the thing? I'm gonna eat some of my snack bar. Claire's like, my womb's done its job now. Yeah, pain. It's not fun, is it, Claire? Reading cloths, yeah. The reading cloths that I do are like the little daily ones. Mary A. Martin. Yeah, see, women are just not trusted. Whereas if you went to the doctor and said, I think I'm pregnant, can I get a pregnancy test? They don't go, oh, you sure you want this baby? They just assume that you're just going to have it. So, oh, Claire, you miss my pouch launches and miss them by the time you get to my shop. Honestly, they do sell out really quickly. I know that's not always going to be the case. I think there was just a little bit of hype around them because I had my shop closed for so long for most of 2020 due to the pandemic and not being able to go into the post office. So yeah, I've pushed them from 4 to 5 now, just trying out a different time. But I'm trying to do alternating Mondays. So I've got today, and then the next one will be in 2 weeks' time. And that gives me the chance to not be manage my chronic illnesses, and also do some research and development for some other stuff that I want to put down in the shop. You going out now? Who's going out? Like a 2 decks, like a matching tarot deck and Lenormand. The thing with that, though, I think would be because one side of the pouch would be this size, but Lennies tend to be quite wee, don't they? So if you're using, so I'll just grab my closest Lenormand, which is the Piatnik. If you, if you have a pouch with like, if I made it the same size as this, it's going to be rattling around. Or make a pouch that's got no, I don't know if that would work. I was gonna say you could do it so you can get 2 Lennies, but then it depends. Lennies do vary in size. I don't know. It's something I have to. It's R&D, the R&D department, which is basically me. I'll figure something out. Suresh Panit, hello. Hi Chris, how you doing? Popping my head in to say hi. I used to come to London to stay for my nan's and see all my family for summer holidays. Oh, so you used to come up to the city. The city gets so hot and sweaty and smoggy in the summer. It's its own microclimate. But I do love London in the summer. It is pretty awesome. I love my hometown. About you associating colours with flavours, I often associate letters and numbers with colours and often wonder if it might be due to seeing flashcards when I was kindergarten. It's a form of synesthesia, isn't it? Like I've got a friend who experiences colour, sounds as colour. My husband's experiences, he's a recording engineer and a musician, and he experiences a lot of sounds as textures, which is really, or feeling, like not feelings as emotions, but actual textures. But normal decks come in different sizes. That is true, B. I'm just trying to work out, because it would be less usable. Although I guess what you could do, B, is if I made, a pouch that was, that size with 2, and you could put 1 in that side, and you could put your Lenny in the other side, and it would rattle around a bit, wouldn't it? But if you wrapped the Lenny in like a fine reading cloth, you could then put that in there. So then you've then got a tarot, a Lenormand, and the reading cloth, which has been folded. You know what I mean? Like fold it around this and then slot it in the pouch. That could work. We'll just need to think about that. Hello, Sunshine Dawn. Hello, Kelly and all. Wish I could stay, but we'll have to watch back. Got to get. Oh, what time is it for you, Sunshine Dawn? So Anne Wesh, hello. So yeah, but yeah, talking about happy, I was talking about happiness or something. I was listening to a podcast, and I think it was Aidan Wachter. I talk about Aidan Wachter a lot because I'm a bit of an Aidan Wachter fangirl. But I can't remember what podcast it was. It might have been The Hermit's Lamp, the most recent episode, because they did a Stacking Skulls episode. Or I don't think it was Witches and Wine. Anyway, Aidan Wachter was talking about, I think it was Hermit's Lamp actually, and they were talking about how they'd been coping through the pandemic and stuff. And he was saying that he had stripped his practice, his magical practice and his spiritual practice right back. And he'd gotten rid of a lot of tools, and he had really sort of pared down what he was doing and simplified stuff. And he was also focusing on what he could control, which was his actions, and to some extent trying to sort of control his thoughts and sort of get a handle on his sort of mental health. And it made me think about this whole idea of like, you know, we would talk about the pursuit of happiness. You pursue happiness, and it always makes me think of Eddie Izzard and a sketch she did years and years ago in the 90s in one of her live shows, where she talks about the pursuit of happiness, and it's the Americans. I think it might, hello Viola, I think it might be Circle, which was around 2000 she did that, which is one of my favorites. It's got the Death Star canteen skit in it, and she talks about Americans and the pursuit of happiness, and he's like, but you really pursue it. You're like, I'm gonna go hunting for some happiness, I'm gonna pursue it like you're hunting deer or something. Look at you, happiness, looking at me with your big doe eyes and your you know, and that's what I think of when I think of the term pursuing happiness. I always think of Eddie Izzard. Anyway, but it's interesting when we talk about like trying to pursue happiness. And if you're, for me, when I think about it, if you think about pursuing, Eddie Izzard is right, because it's chasing something, you're pursuing, it's giving, the language that you're using is this, it's almost like you're constantly pushing. If it's constantly running away, you're constantly pursuing it. And if you do catch it, right, if you do catch happiness, if you do bag some happiness, what happens then? Do you then go hunting for some other happiness, some more happiness, bigger happiness? The goalposts shift, right? And it was, I don't know, this is what I was thinking about this morning whilst I was having my breakfast. I don't know why. I think it was because I was struggling mentally with what's going on. And I have these moments where I freak out and I'm like, oh my God, what if this is really something really serious and I'm like doomed, and how can I, and I just like, and I'm like, you need to not think about that. But it's so hard when, for someone with anxiety disorder, especially, and intrusive thoughts, it's really tricky. Even when I use all of the tools in my toolkit to manage that. And I was thinking, I remember years ago, I saw a YouTube video and I've been trying to find it ever since, and I've never been able to find it, but it talked about the problem with pursuing happiness and how you shouldn't, it's not about pursuing happiness. It's about, trying to be things that make, it was like the things that actually genuinely make people happy. And it should be, you should be more looking at contentment, and the way to do that is to find something creative that you enjoy, or a hobby, be of use to people, be of service to people. So you're getting outside of your own head, and taking, I think there was also like taking joy in the little things, and practicing gratitude and stuff like that, like little like check-ins, and that helps. And it's not so much, oh, you take care, B, thank you for popping in, and I hope the rest of your Monday goes well, and I hope you get a chance to enjoy a bit of the sunshine. So yeah, it's not so much as having these big, I think when we think of happiness, you reach happiness and then everything is good, right? That's it. You reach the happiness and then you live happily ever after, right? And I think that's that fairy tale idea. But I think we need to, I think actually those highs, constantly chasing that isn't realistic, or maybe or necessarily healthy. And I think it's better to sort of maybe say this is like baseline, maybe sort of coasting along at contentment is better than this constant trying to chase this up here. And also, if you're at this baseline, when you do get those moments of pure like happiness, like real like you know, you're feeling it more intensely, because it's more extreme, right? And the same goes for the lows, right? I've been honest and open about also suffering with depression, and those lows, as much as they suck, really help you appreciate not necessarily even the highs, just that baseline of like, you know. And the way I can think about it is, I used to suffer terribly with migraines, really badly, and it felt like I was dying. It was awful. And the next day or the day after, once the migraine had sort of eased off, and I was like, oh my God, I feel amazing. But the truth of the matter was I wasn't feeling amazing. I was probably still actually feeling a little bit fragile, because that's the way I would usually feel for a couple of days after an intense migraine. But I felt normal. And that's fine. But because I've been in so much pain and suffering so badly, just feeling normal felt amazing. Does that make sense? Like it was just not having that amount of pain felt amazing. So yeah, so those lows can really help you feel the highs. Unfortunately, Tide tubes won't stop periods. No, I know, but I'm just talking about with regards to sorry, I was talking about just bodily autonomy and stuff like that, with regards to wanting help. I know I won't stop periods because the eggs are still absorbed into your body and your womb is still doing the thing, right, because of the hormones. Sorry, yeah, didn't mean to conflate the two. It was just more just general gynae health and the way that we get treated. Like, to get my period pain treated seriously took years. Like, especially with male doctors, they just don't get out. The idea of pursuing happiness just seems odd. It's trying to be an emotional extreme all the time. Yeah, which isn't how we're made. But overall, averaging contentment makes total sense. So yeah, I had this idea of like, instead of, this probably isn't a new idea, somebody's probably already thought of it, but I was like, we shouldn't be pursuing happiness. We should be cultivating contentment and joy. And I thought of the word cultivating because with the pursuit, with using the term, because you could say, well, I'm pursuing contentment. But I feel like using language matters, right? Words matter. They affect our mind, the way that we use words. Words count. So if you're saying, well, I'm not going to say I'm pursuing happiness, I'm pursuing contentment, I'm pursuing joy, I feel like you are still using the wrong language, because pursuing still feels very, it's that hunting. It's very, I don't know how to explain it, but with cultivating, it feels more active in the sense that it's something constructive that you're doing. Like usually pursuing can feel like destructive. And I think it's because I just assume I mentally sort of associate pursuing with either hunting or tracking, right? Tracking something down. So the police are pursuing a speeding car. A hunter is pursuing the white stag, the mythical, well, it's not a mythical, white stags exist, but you know what I mean? They're very rare. A hunter is pursuing a white stag, and it's very predatory and feels sort of like there's something there. I don't know, there feels shadowy there maybe, but not in a like shadow work way, just it feels kind of dark. Sorry, my throat's going weird. It's a thing. So cultivating feels more I don't really know what the language around it to get at what I'm trying to say. But you know, when you're cultivating a garden, right, you're like planting the seeds and you're attending to the seedlings, you're protecting them. Yeah, hunting versus gardening. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, Robin. It feels a lot more nurturing, and it feels a lot more like, instead of you're actively going, I'm going to hunt for, I'm going to pursue contentment, you're like, I'm going to cultivate. It feels like something, rather than something that is out, that's it, rather than it's something that's out there that you're going to try and get, it's more something that you bring from within you, that you tend to, like a flower. Does that make sense? So I'm like, yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to cultivate contentment and joy, and part of that will be starting my gratitude process up again. Like I need to do that more often, and taking joy in the little things. I'm pretty good at taking joy in the little things. I enjoy, you know, the sitting with a cup of tea and a little snack bar or a slice of cake, and I enjoy, well, when my roof isn't leaking, I enjoy the sound of rain and just looking out the window and watching the rain fall, just like, you know, walking around the park with Dr. Nomi. Those like little moments of, oh God, like a really good coffee. You know, you just get a really beautiful, delicious, well-made oat milk flat white. Oh, I will savor that, savoring and cultivating. When we are constantly striving, we are in the moment. Yeah, we're not being present, right? And I think, because I know that with a lot of sort of like Buddhism and Zen Taoism, it's very much about you need to be in the moment and don't be looking at the future and don't be looking at the past. And I do enjoy some of the tenets of like Buddhism and Taoism, but for me, the past is useful because you can learn from it. It seems like our government isn't right now. But I think it's important to look at the past, and that's a really interesting thing to do with, race relations at the moment and things like, the history of the way Black people have been treated and the way that Indigenous communities have been treated, mistreated. If you are constantly in the moment, you're never going to acknowledge and learn and grow and see, try and make reparations for something that's happened in the past. You're doomed to repeat history. And I think also there's nothing wrong with looking into the future or having something to look forward to. But I think when you're constantly looking to the past and constantly projecting into the future and you're escaping your current reality, and I get it because I've been trying to do that. I talk about sitting here and being zen and sewing and hand sewing, but there's no way I would be able to I've tried it a few times over the last week to just sit in silence and sew, to just see if I could sit with it, but I couldn't because my anxiety brain was just latching onto all of the like stuff that's going on for me at the moment. And so I have to have those podcasts, right? So one part of my brain is engaged with that podcast and it's distracting. And the other part of my brain is focused on my task. But it's not so much looking into the past and the future with that. It's a distraction, right? I'm in the moment. I'm listening to that podcast in the moment, but it's a distraction to help me get through. And sometimes people treat that like it's a bad thing. Like you need to feel your feels. Like, trust me, I feel my feels, and that's the problem. But I need to have moments of reprieve from that. Otherwise, I will go absolutely bananas. So it's interesting. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Happiness isn't all that an elusive a beast. Yeah, it depends, because I think we're fed by sort of media and celebrity culture, what is seen as what is supposed to make you happy, and it becomes very sort of mired in capitalism and mired in aesthetics and a lot of sort of surface level stuff, rather than that real sort of core thing that matters, which is connections with people and your environment, and doing things, being creative or enjoying the little things. Chronic illnesses help to force appreciation of simplistic life. Yeah, I mean, Antoinette, intuitive tarot and jewelry, that has for me, for 100%, I've had to strip back. I mean, obviously the pandemic's done a massive amount of that on top of what I'd had to strip back. But yeah, I mean, in my early 30s, I really grieved for the life that I was no longer able to lead, and for the life that I was trying to build for myself. And there was a lot of anger there as well, just that my body would no longer let me just go and do the things that I wanted to do. It's very frustrating, but it does make you appreciate that it's that slow pace. Actually, a lot of people that are even not chronically ill or disabled or whatever, that most people could do with a bit of that, right? That slowing down. Can you put some witchy tarot podcasts? Can I put some witchy tarot podcasts? Oh, people keep asking me to do an update video on podcasts that I listen to. There's a few from back in the day. I've done like favorites of like podcasts and things, but yeah, there's more that I listen to, or different ones that I listen to now. So I should probably get around to doing that. Bye, Kay, you're off to work. I hope you have a good Monday. I missed the beginning of this live, so I'll catch up when I get home this afternoon. Take care. So yeah, anyway, I've lost the thread of what I was talking about. How long oh my god, I've been on for nearly an hour. It says 54 minutes almost, yeah, I hear you. Then allowing yourself permission to grieve and let go because of the guilt. Yeah. And I still get times where I get so angry and frustrated with my body. This is aside from all the stuff that is happening at the moment, but just my general like baseline chronic illness nonsense, you know. And I get so, yeah, I still have moments where I have a like a, you know, throw my toys out of the pram because I'm just annoyed that my body won't let me do things, or that I'll push myself. I'll sort of push myself beyond my limits because I'm just like, it'll be fine, or I just tell myself it'll be fine, or I just get so fed up of being careful all the time, and then I always end up paying for it. It's very, very, yeah, it's frustrating. And it's interesting because, you know, people, because my chronic illnesses are invisible for the most part, people go, well, you look fine. And people make that mistake of thinking because you look fine that you are fine. They don't see the exhaustion, they don't see all the resting, they can't see the pain. I mean, when I've spoken to friends, like I've met friends for coffee or whatever, and they're like, oh, but you're having a good day today. I'm like, well, you know, my usual base level of pain. And they're like, what do you mean your base level of pain? Have you got pain? You know, I will like bear back. If I'm having a day where I'm having like what I call my baseline level of pain, I will just bear back that. I won't take pain because I don't want to constantly be on painkillers, because I've been in the past struggled with them becoming less effective and having to take more intense stuff, or having withdrawal if I forget to take painkillers, or you know what I mean, if I get caught out without them, if I've gone away and I forgot, I'm like, oh crap, I didn't pack enough, or I forgot I left them on the side, you know. And so I will just bear back that. I've gotten to the point where I can manage my base. So right now I'm actually having, this is one of the better days with regards to pain. Like, I'm having my usual like hip stuff that's going on, neck and shoulder stuff, you know, but that's okay. And there's other things that go with that, like nausea, dizziness, you know, fatigue. So I might crash after lunch. I might actually just completely crash. And by crash, I mean like I will have to lay down and I will just sleep. And there's almost like there's no control over it, because when I try to fight that, I'll be sitting here like at my desk. I've got my I'll just be at my laptop and I'll be like trying to do stuff. And this is me like I will literally be in my old job before I was diagnosed and before I was being investigated for stuff. I would have my lunch and I'd maybe have to, a lot of my work involved me standing up because I was a pattern cutter, like in a, for a fashion designer. But like say I needed to do stuff at my desk, I needed to create a spec sheet or whatever for the garment I was working on. And I'd sit down at my desk and I'd had my lunch and everything. And I would literally like, I used to sit next to this guy, Mark, and he'd go like, Kelly, and he'd have to like push my like wheelie chair, you know, the desk chair. He'd be like, you've fallen asleep, because I would just like fall asleep with my hand on the mouse. And it made it look like I was really lazy, or that because I was in my 20s, people probably thought I was out partying and had been a late night, but it wasn't. It was utter exhaustion. And it would usually happen on a Thursday or Friday, which tells you a lot, right? I'd pushed myself through, and you get to the last couple of days of the week and my body just can't. And if I was sitting down, my body was like, and I had no control over it. Having a cup of tea or coffee wouldn't help it. Smelling salts wouldn't help. You know, trying to sort of take a quick walk outside didn't help. Nothing helped. So I had a really bad flare up of my RA during my last infusion cycle. So I find myself waking up every day thinking, is this the day that meds fail me again? Oh, I'm so sorry, Aquarius Owl. Living with chronic illness, you know what? It's more prevalent than people realize. I don't know if this is an American statistic, but 1 in 5 people live with chronic illness or disability. Or that might be a UK statistic, but I imagine it might translate across the pond. You know, that's a lot. Like there's a disabled activist that I follow on Twitter, and she's learning to drive, and she's a wheelchair user, and she has had people, she tweets about, you know, her driving lessons and stuff. People have been really awful, like not trolls, but like just people going, oh, should you even be driving if you're disabled, which is just so problematic, you know, people saying stuff like that. But she did her theory test last week, And she tweeted that the question in the theory test was, you're in a car park, and I don't like a supermarket car park, and the only space left is a disabled parking bay. What do you do? And it gives a list. And then it was basically saying you shouldn't use the disabled parking bay. But if she had marked that on her, if she had marked the correct answer on her theory test, that's not actually true for her, because she is a wheelchair user. She would use the disabled parking bay. And so she was highlighting how everything is geared towards able-bodied people, and that even in the thing they're like, well, you're not allowed to use the thing. So whereas maybe there should be a box that says I am disabled, so therefore I would use the disabled parking bay. I don't know, it's interesting, like this sort of making what's the word, accessibility more prevalent and more pervasive, you know. That rings a bell with me. I'm so happy my work years are behind me. Work. I keep seeing all this rhetoric around right-wing media going, nobody wants to go back to work now. First of all, people that have been working from home, it's been proven, have actually been working longer hours than when they were working at the office, because they're always at work if they're at home, right? And they're working from home. But also saying that people don't want to work. Who the fuck actually wants to work? And I saw someone in a reply tweet, which was, no one truly wants to trade in hours of their life in order to be able to buy necessities. We're literally trading hours of our life and our time that we could be spending with family and friends, or cultivating hobbies and being creative and doing other interesting things, with having to do all these things in order to get bits of paper or metal or digits in the ether onto our bank account online in order to then be able to eat food to live. Like capitalism, man, it's fucking wild when you really break it down, when you think about it. Anyway, it's 1:45. My tea is probably cold. I have only managed about a third of my snack bar. Hang on, I'm going to drink this. The benefit of it being warmer is my tea stays warmer for longer, so yay. But yeah, it's been just over an hour, and this was only meant to be half an hour, but that's okay. So yeah, thank you for joining me on this philosophical ramble, I guess. Like I said, I've got my shop update today, 5 p.m. UK time. Things do. Oh, as I was saying, I think I was talking to Claire, but then I got sidetracked. My stuff sells out quite quickly, usually anywhere within 5 to 30 minutes. So if you want to bag something, you do have to get there really quickly. I'm really sorry. I wish I could make it less but it just seems to be the way. That probably won't last forever, honestly, but with regards to it always selling out quickly, I'm sure the excitement will wear off for people with my little pouches. Blessed anonymity. That's it. Yes, I do not dream of labor. I dream of, what is it? I just want to drink coffee and make things. That's me. I just want to drink coffee and make things, or drink tea, drink caffeinated beverages and make things. So can anyone else say that? What an achievement. Oh, thank you. I think though it is because I only put a few up at a time, so then it feels like it's creating a scarcity mindset, and I don't want to have to do that. But at the same time, I have to minimize how much time I spend in the post office because of the COVID risk. And I'm finding that depending on what the queue is like, I could be there anywhere from 10 to 25 minutes, and they don't have very good ventilation. And with everything opening up more and more, I'm now in the minority of people wearing masks. It got to a point where people being pretty good wearing masks, but now it's like I might see one other person wearing a mask, and 9 times out of 10 it's like under their nose or on their chin. And with the new variant, which is very problematic, and the government seems to be ignoring it again, same as it ever was. You think they would have learned by now, and by now they obviously have learned. So it's just willful. It's willful neglect. What was it they say? The cruelty is the point. So yeah, I've got a bunch of pouches going up. I've got. I might do a little. Should I do a little showcase of them before I go? Like a shopping channel. So I've got some lovely bright summery juicy ones. I love this one. I kind of wanted this one for myself. It's not showing up on the video on the screen, but this is almost like it's not a neon, it's a very bright yellow, not quite neon, but very, very juicy. So this is a lovely little mushroomy one. By the way, I'm showing these, but I won't be able to like do what's the word, holds, or what's the word I'm thinking of, reserves. I won't be able to do reservations because of the way Etsy works. And then it's got like a lime green on the inside. So that's one of the bright ones. There's this yummy candy pink with this enameled metal and enameled rainbow, which I guess is perfect actually because it's June, so it's Pride Month. So this is like the Pride, the Pride pouch, Pride pouch. I've got a sort of golden yellow, and this looks pink, but it's actually very pale mauve with a gold star, and that is lavender on the inside. Cigarette pouch, tobacco pouch. I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever have stored my tobacco in one of these because it's felt and all the tobacco would have stuck to it. But I know what you mean because, yeah, I used to smoke and I used to smoke loose roll-ups. I've got a fuchsia pink with a purple. This looks a bit more blue on my screen, but it's actually a true purple with a little sort of Alice in Wonderland style drink me potion bottle, and that is golden yellow on the inside. We've got, oh my god, I love this one. So again, I'm like, I want this for myself, and I've put the unicorn tarot in it, the crystal unicorn, but it's an aqua turquoise color with an aqua glitter ribbon. It's all tone on tone, aqua turquoise stitching, and then like a minty green on the inside, and the unicorn charm. Oh my god, I love this unicorn charm. And I think when I bought this, I bought the last 5 that they had in stock. And this is the second from last one that I've got left. So I don't know if I'll be able to get more of those charms. I've got this delicious royal purple. And again, this is more of a tone on tone. So purple ribbon, purple stitching, purple felt. Again, it's looking more blue, but it's more of a royal purple. And then it's got golden yellow on the inside for a real like flash of color. And then the Eye of Providence, gold and silver sort of occult charm. I've got this chocolate brown. This pink is like neon pink. It doesn't really show up again on camera or in the photos. I was trying to edit the photos to get it true to color, but it's really tricky. I'm not very good at editing pictures. I need to get better at that. And then this like antique gold owl charm, and this is like, I got this shocking pink on the inside. And then I've got this olive green, and it's got the acrylic leaf thing. And then this has got like the black looks like a bit incongruous, but it's because when you open it, the black matches the black tiger print. So it's like a tropical wild kind of one. And then I've got a navy blue with silver grey stitching, silver glitter ribbon, and sun and moon charm, which just gives me such 90s vibes. And then this is like a violet purple on the inside. And then I've got just a jet black and pink. So a hot pink stitching, hot pink glitter ribbon, just your classic silver pentacle, and then your lovely sort of fuchsia pink on the inside. So yum, yum, yum. And then, of course, there's the Marshmallow Marseille because it's got the little lollipop, and the Tarot Seren because it's got the, the starfish on it. So, yeah, those are the ones that are going up today. I've got more, but like I said, if COVID wasn't a thing, I would probably be putting up at least 20 every drop. But I just, like I said, I have to limit the amount of time that I'm in the it sucks, because obviously it limits my income as well. And I would, and I just want to get and that makes me feel bad, because people are like, oh, I didn't get one this time, and I'm really sorry. Whereas obviously if COVID wasn't a thing, I could just put tons up and it wouldn't matter, because I would just like go into the post office, and if I'm in the post office for ages, it wouldn't matter, because there wouldn't be a horrible virus going around to worry about. Please remind me again when and where these are available. They will be available today on my Etsy shop. Hang on, let me put the link in for you. Let me find the link for my shop. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Shameless self-promotion. Let me just get the link. So I've had to go into my Firefox rather, because I'm on Chrome when I do this. So here's my Etsy shop. I've only got a pair of earrings and a brooch in there at the moment. So I do other stuff on my shop. Like my little ghost earrings that I had, they sold in my last drop as well. I was so excited that someone had bought a piece of my jewelry, like one of my jewelry pieces. So yeah, that'll be going up at 5 p.m. UK time, which I think would be about midday for you, because you're on the East Coast, aren't you, Robin? So that'd be 5 hours behind, I believe. So midday for you. So yeah, just check on Google to do like the time difference for wherever you might be, because 5 p.m. UK time, we're currently in British summertime. So yeah, Deanne, yes, you're right. Deanne does have them. I was so happy. At what time? 5 p.m. UK time, Robin. So yeah, so there's also the coffin earrings are still on there, and the little glitter heart brooch. I've got another glitter heart brooch to put up actually. And yeah, depending on how the next couple of weeks go, I don't think I'll be making any new, like anything other than pouches for the next couple of weeks, just because my head's a shed, as Simon at the Hermit's Cave likes to say. I just need to get through this, whatever this medical stuff is, and see what happens. So yeah. Oh, she might be showing them on Friday. Oh, cool. How sweet. Lovely. So yeah, but like I said, today 5 p.m. and then again, because I'm doing every other, I'm alternating. The next one will be hopefully tentatively the 21st of June. But again, it does, if I have a hospital appointment that day, I won't be able to. Obviously, I have to see what's happening with that. Or if I've had horrible news, I might not feel like it. We'll see. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna go make some. Did you see Satan? What? Oh dear. There's always one weirdo. So yeah, I'm gonna go make some lunch and finish. I say that I haven't even finished my snack bar. But yeah, I hope you all have an amazing week. I don't know when my next video will be. I just sort of wanted to sorry, my throat really. I just wanted to touch base and yeah, see how people are, and just give you an update with why I've not been around so much. So yeah, the star. What star? This is a pentacle. It's not the Star of Satan, darling. It's a pentacle. It represents earth, air, fire, water, and then the top point represents spirit. Do I practice the occult? Yes, I'm literally a witch. It's not the Star of Satan. Satan doesn't exist in witchcraft. So yeah, it's a pentacle. Go look it up, what it actually means. Give it a goog. So yeah, I will. It's not a pentagon. The Pentagon is a US governmental facility. So yeah, this is getting off track. So yeah, I'm going to go. You all take care of yourself. Social distance, wear a mask, wash your hands, as I always like to say these days. You know the drill. Keep yourself safe, keep yourself well, and be kind. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.